some of my background. I was born and raised here in Texas. I then went to A&M. Yes, I'm an Aggie, and I was in the Aggie band. Then after A&M, I went into the Air Force and spent 21 years and retired as a lieutenant colonel in the civil engineer career field. I then went into a large engineering construction firm and spent another 13 years all over the world learning about budgeting and spending resources wisely. Took a little bit of time off, but then I went and ran for city council. In 2017, I won, and in 19 and in 21 also. What did I get done during that time? Well, it took me 3 years, but I got y'all all homestead exemptions here for San Antonio. A big accomplishment for a city that never had a homestead exemption. And I was able to work along with my colleagues to get that done. I got 200 additional police officers for San Antonio. Something that we still need. We still need more police officers. And I doubled the infrastructure program, which our streets really need some work on. And we need to double it again. So those are my 3 major accomplishments. I did a lot of stuff here in District 10, and we're right in District 10 right here, right now. Did a lot of upgrades here for the district. But those 3 main accomplishments I'm very proud of to having done that here in San Antonio. Thank you.
Gentrification throughout San Antonio has resulted in the displacement of many Black San Antonio residents. How do you plan to ensure affordable housing is available for all residents without creating pockets of poverty?
One of the problems is supply and demand. Right now, we only have less than 3 months of housing supply here in San Antonio. We should be around 6 months to 9 months, even a year worth of supply. Well, why don't we have a more supply of housing here? Well, one of the problems is the city council has enacted a lot of ordinances and rules and regulations for these contractors to follow. If we took off a lot of that stuff, did you know that the first $25,000 of the house is because of what the city requires them to put into these houses? We need to unshackle, unleash these contractors to build more housing, to make it more affordable. The other thing is we're going to cap, or I'm going to cap, the appraisal district. We're not going to raise appraisals anymore for 65 and older. We're going to cap that appraisal and not let it grow anymore. Thank you.
In light of recent federal-level pushback and executive actions aimed at dismantling DEI initiatives, how do you plan to create, protect, and expand equitable access to city jobs and/or workforce development programs for Black job seekers?
Job availability here in San Antonio is really unlimited. I mean, we have a lot of opportunities here in San Antonio, and I'm hoping that anybody looking for a job can go to the city, whether it's a city or the county or anywhere across the city, and ask for a job or apply for a job. There should be no barriers. Everybody is created equal, and you have to go in and work hard. I had to work hard. I applied for some jobs myself and didn't get them, but you know what? I turned around and I worked harder. And I went and I applied for other jobs, and I got those jobs that I went and really worked hard at. That same principle applies to everybody. You got to work hard, you got to keep your nose to the grindstone, and you got to create those relationships and communicate across this community and be available. And you might not get what you want the first time, but keep working on it on the second time, third time, and fourth time. Thank you.
Black-owned businesses in San Antonio continue to face systemic barriers to accessing capital, contracts, and key networks. What specific strategy or policies would you support or implement to ensure equitable access to funding and city contracts for Black entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, number one, we have a very healthy small business opportunity for contractors to apply for contracts with the city. Very healthy, and the small business percentages have increased over the years. But let me tell you what's going to happen. And it happened with this charter change. Before, the city council got to look at every contract going out there, $50,000 and above. below $50,000 was just approved by the city manager. Guess what that number is now? It's $2 million. The vast majority of our day-to-day requirements are being approved by the city manager, not by the city council. I would overturn that and bring it back down to where we can see as a city council where those contract dollars are going and making sure that it's distributed across the community here in San Antonio and not somewhere else. Thank you.
Statistics confirm that blacks are more likely to be pulled over, cited, arrested, and jailed for the same offenses as any other demographics. What are your plans for ensuring public safety while also addressing police reform and accountability?
Our number one job is to keep you safe. Do you feel safe right now? There's a lot of people across San Antonio that do not feel safe. Why is that? It's because we don't have enough patrols going. We've already talked about it. Patrols getting into the neighborhoods, being visible, and not having enough to get around the city. We've already talked about being short over 300 officers. When I get in office as your mayor, that's going to be my number one priority, and we're going to find the resources to fund them all up front and not spread it over 3 to 5 years like they're trying to do now. We need them now. You're paying good tax dollars to be safe, and you need a return on your investment to hire those, to get them out, to be proactive out in the neighborhoods and not just responding to crimes after they've been committed. Thank you.
Research indicates that black adults mainly attribute health inequities to less access to quality health care. Therefore, how do you plan to ensure that all San Antonian residents have access to affordable health care and mental health services?
I'm going to approach this a little bit differently than everybody else. You know that the city and the county duplicate services, and Metro Health and the county health system duplicate a lot of those services. I'm going to work to combine those services. And who's the big gorilla that has most of those services available? It's a county, not the city. We don't get funding to build hospitals and things like that. That's all done by the county. And I'm going to work with the county to take more of those responsibilities off of the city so that we can concentrate on those things that we're supposed to be responsible for. Metro Health has grown by leaps and bounds over the last 10 years. And they're consuming more of our budget every year. So they are duplicating those services that are being provided by the county. So I'm going to work with the county for them to do the job they're supposed to do, and we do the job that we're supposed to do. Thank you.
San Antonio's rapid growth has strained its transportation infrastructure. How will you address the resulting challenges and ensure equitable access to public transit and improve connectivity for all residents, particularly in black and underserved communities?
Don't get me started with VIA, but I will start with VIA. Look, they're overfunded. They've got a bunch of big lumbering buses all over the city that are empty most of the time. I volunteered District 10 to start this VIA Link program, which is basically an Uber program, and it's worked. There's some kinks in it yet that need to be worked out, but it works really well instead of these big buses driving around empty most of the time. And this north to south new line that's going to go along San Pedro, I just don't get it. It's going to be a reflection of that big empty parking lot on 281 that sits empty every dadgum day. And let me tell you, we need to auger into VIA to make sure that they're spending your dollars. And the city doesn't do anything with VIA. They're their own entity. We don't have any control on it. We have one representative on that board. And you need to go and complain to VIA on what they're doing and what they're not doing. Thank you.
In light of the challenges public schools face due to school choice and vouchers, how will you support the improvement and increased funding for public education in San Antonio?
First off, we can't give money to the school districts. We can't do that. We can't take city money and infuse that into the school districts, okay? But what we can do, we can go up to Austin and lobby those folks up there to increase the funding. They control the purse strings. San Antonio doesn't. Now, we do operate a separate school system. We initiated pre-K for SA, where we're spending $50 million a year on about 2,000 students. That's what you're paying out of your tax dollars. Now, with respect to the public schools, what can the city do? Well, I've talked about that before. Let's go out there and improve the infrastructure around those schools to make it appealing for the kids to even go to school. On the outside of that fence, that's our responsibility, and that's something that we haven't done for years. If you've been to the schools on the east, south, and west sides, it's horrible, and that's where the city comes into play. That's where we failed, and that's what we're going to do is to fix up those areas. Thank you.
This has been a good discussion. As we close, we'll ask each candidate in 30 seconds or less to give your closing remarks, following by closing from Brother Armand.
Yes, I'm Clayton Perry, and I am running on my experience and common sense leadership. Listen, I pushed back on a lot of issues at that city council for 6 years, but I'm very proud of the things that I did get accomplished. I told you about them: homestead exemption, 200 additional police officers, and doubling the infrastructure. So I'm proud of that, and I want to continue that as your mayor in pushing forward with that common sense leadership. Thank you very much, and y'all have a blessed day.